That night Jungkook destroyed his office, threw his files, slipped down against the wall, buried his face in his hands. His voice broke into painful whisper. I can't lose you, Taehyung. But he had already pushed him away. He curled into himself, chest tight, breath uneven, and then, like a buried ghost resurfacing, memories rushed back. His mother's scream, the blood father crying helplessly, his tiny brother surviving his mother not. Then his best friend in college, her hands cold in his, the nurse saying, we lost her. Every childbirth he had witnessed ended in death, and now Taeyong, the only person he ever let close, might die too. His deepest fear, the one he never told anyone, choked him. I can't lose him like that. He cried silently into his hands, broken, alone, terrified, and unaware that Taehyung was crying in another house, holding his stomach, whispering, please, Jungkook, come back to us. The apartment Taehyung moved into was small, far from luxury, but it smelled like home the moment he entered. It was not Jungkook's house, where every surface gleamed cold and impersonal. It was modest, warm, filled with soft curtains, little plants, and sunlight spilling through windows. A home he could breathe in, and yet every time he thought of Jungkook, a tight knot formed in his chest. He did not know if Jungkook would ever come back at all. The first night in the apartment, Taeyong curled into sofa with a blanket around him, tears streaming. Pregnancy was still early, but already exhaustion and nausea weighed him down like chains. He pressed his hands to his stomach. I am okay. We are okay, he whispered, but the words rang hollow. No father, no partner, just him and tiny life inside him, fragile and unknowable. Night after night he cried quietly into dark, longing for Jungkook's voice, his warmth, safety of a hand brushing through his hair, but the apartment stayed silent.
Unknown to Taehyung, Jungkook was never far, watching from shadows, patrolling the streets outside in his car, unable to stop himself from checking, unable to cross the threshold. Every time Taehyung entered or left, every step he took, every cuff, every sigh, Jungkook's eye followed. And every time he saw him smile, even faintly, Jungkook just ached with fear, with longing. On rainy night, Taeyong collapsed while trying to carry groceries upstairs, clutching his stomach. The moment Jungkook saw the message from the building security, a tenant has fallen, emergency, he lost every shred of pride. He raced through streets like a man possessed, heart pounding, fist clenching, tears blurring his vision. He burst into apartment building, ignoring the stairs, ignoring the dripping rain, until he found Taeyong lying on the floor, pale and shaking. Tae! He shouted, scooping him up effortlessly. Taeyong's eyes widened in disbelief. Jungkook, don't, don't say anything. Stay still. You hear me? Stay still. He carried Taeyong into taxi, ignoring his protest, ignoring the stares of strangers. The hospital was a blur of white lights and hushed panic. Doctor's words were mere professional. Luckily, both mother and baby are safe, but stress can be dangerous. He should be cared for closely. Jungkook did not let go of Taehyung's hand the entire time. The cold walls he always maintained crumbled. His hand shook. I can't, I can't lose you, Taehyung, like this. he whispered, voice raw and broken. Taehyung stared at him, tears streaming. You came? Jungkook said almost violently, but I can't stay away either. I can't risk of losing you. Not like this. Not ever. Taehyung's heart trembled, realizing for the first time just how much Jungkook's coldness was a mask, a shield fogged by loss, fear, and guilt.
Later, back in small apartment, Jungkook paced, unable to sit, unable to touch, unable to breathe calmly. Taehyung sat on sofa, hands crackling around his stomach. Why did not you come before? Why did not you trust me? Taehyung asked softly, voice trembling. I was scared, Jungkook admitted finally. I have lost people before. My mother, my best friend. He broke off, choked, tears running down his face. Taehyung's breath caught. Jungkook, I never wanted to scare you. I just needed you. Taehyung whispered. Jungkook crossed the distance slowly, as if approaching the fragile animal. He knelt beside Taehyung, placing his hands over his trembling lungs. I thought, I thought if anything happened to you or the baby, I could not bear it, Jungkook admitted. I wanted to protect you, and I did not know how. I acted wrong. I was cruel. I'm sorry, Taehyung's tears fell freely, leaning into Jungkook's trembling hands. It's okay. Just don't ever leave me again. Jungkook's lips pressed against Taehyung's ears in a fierce, desperate kiss. I will never leave you again, he whispered. Never. That night, they finally shared the bed, not as a strangers, not as a strangers bound by arrangement, but as two souls trembling on the edge of fear, love, and hope. Jungkook was hesitant at first, his hands shaking, his lips uncertain. Every touch was careful, filled with guilt, reverence, and longing. Taehyung held him close, whispered reassurance, and Jungkook finally let himself fall, falling in love, falling in need, falling into something he had never allowed himself for. Their intimacy was tender, vulnerable, raw, no walls, no distance, just them. Two broken souls clinging to each other in a quiet night. Days passed in a gentle rhythm of love, care, and quiet joy. Taehyung noticed subtle changes in Jungkook, the way he lingered by his side while Taehyung rested, the way he fussed over meals, ensuring everything was nourishing and safe, even in small acts. Jungkook's love spoke volumes. Their connection deepened, not only emotionally but physically as well. Though always tenderly and respectfully, they held each other close, sharing warmth and quiet intimacy. Soft touches, lingering hugs, gentle kisses that spoke more than words ever could. Every moment was a reaffirmation of love, trust, and the bond that had been forged through hardship and healing. Jungkook began to show his protective side more openly, insisting Taehyung rest when needed, accompanying him to checkups, talking excitedly about baby names, nursery ideas, and future. Weeks passed. Taehyung's belly grew. His body changed. Jungkook never left his side. He never smoothed each kick, each flutter, each sign of life made Jungkook heart pound. He became protective in a way that scared him as much as they comforted Taehyung. And Taehyung felt safe for the first time in months. Safe, loved, and finally understood. But life never lets joy linger too long. A sudden complication during final weeks of pregnancy shattered their fragile calm. Taehyung went into early labor. Jungkook was nightmare. The night air was thick with anticipation both outside and within the hospital room. Taehyung lay on the hospital bed, clutching Jungkook's hand with every contraction. Sweat beaded in his forehead, but his eyes shone with determination, love, and anticipation. Jungkook, standing at his side, had never felt such helpless in his life. His chest tightened with every cry, every gasp of pain. Hours passed. Time stretched into an endless blur of monitors, machines, and tense voices. Jungkook paced beside him, shaking violently. Tears streamed freely. "You can't lose him. I can't. I can't." The nurse's calm voice barely penetrated his panic. "He's stable. Your husband is strong. He needs you calm, not panic." Jungkook shook his head violently. "No, I can't stay calm. I'm scared. I should have never pushed you away. I should have been there every day. I should have told you. I love you." His voice broke, desperate. "I'm so sorry. Tay, Tay, please forgive me." And then, after what felt like an eternity, a cry pierced the air. A tiny, fragile, perfect cry. "It's a boy," nurse announced, placing the newborn in Taehyung's arms. The baby's small chest rose and fell with each breath, and a soft pink blanket wrapped around him snugly. Tears flowed freely down Taehyung's cheeks. He looked up at Jungkook. "Our baby, he's here." Jungkook stepped closer, unable to speak, his throat tight with emotion. He reached out tentatively, brushing his fingers across the baby's tiny hands. The infant grasped his finger instinctively, and at that moment, Jungkook felt something break open inside him, a flood of love, relief, and overwhelming joy. I, I was so scared," Jungkook whispered, voice breaking. I, I did not want to lose you or him. I, Taehyung leaned closer, resting his forehead against Jungkook's. "You are here. We are safe. He's safe. We are together. All of us." Jungkook's tears fell freely, hot and unrestrained. He finally allowed himself to surrender to the love, to the relief, to the profound joy that had been denied him for so long. "I love you, both of you," he said, voice shaking. "I promise I will protect you, always." Ting smiled through his tears, holding his son close. "I know," he whispered. "We will face everything together as a family." For the first time, Jungkook held their son in his arms fully, feeling the tiny heartbeat, the warmth, the fragile perfection of life, the fears, the trauma, the pain of the past. They all seemed to dissolve in the presence of this tiny life, in the love that filled the room. They spent the night in each other's arms, the baby nestled between them, each breath, each heartbeat, a testament of survival, love, and unbroken hope. Jungkook whispered, promised to their child, whispered, apologizes for the fear that had once held him captive, and whispered declarations of love to Taehyung, who held him tightly, never letting go. And a storm broke, painting the sky in golden and pink. Taehyung and Jungkook knew one thing with absolute certainty. They had faced the darkest fears, the hardest storms, and emerged stronger, bound together by love, trust, and miracle of their child. For the first time in years, Jungkook allowed himself to be fully open, fully loving, fully alive. And Taehyung, who had never wavered in his love, felt the completion of a journey that had begun with fear, endured heartbreak, and blossomed into family bound by unshakable love. Holding their baby close, hands entwined, hearts aligned, they whispered together, We are family, always, and in that moment nothing else mattered. The world, the past, the pain, all of them had led them here to this unbreakable bond, to this perfect happiness, to this love that would endure forever.
Days passed, a haze of love, sleepless nights, and tender care. Jungkook never left Taehyung's side. He learned to change diapers, soothe the baby, feed him, hold both Taehyung and their son with reverence and awe. Taehyung was trembling and fearful, now felt safe. He watched Jungkook softly cool their child, caressing the baby's tiny hands. The same man who had been cold, distant, and fearful now held them with all the vulnerability, love, devotion he had buried for so long. One evening, as the sun set, Jungkook pulled Taehyung close, holding the baby between them. I was so wrong. I thought protecting you meant pushing you away. But it's the opposite. I need you. I need all of you, and I need him, our son. Taehyung's tears fell freely as he pressed his forehead to Jungkook's. I love you, and we are together now, forever. Jungkook kissed him gently, then leaned back to look at their child. Our family, he whispered, voice cracking. Our life, our love, our everything. And for the first time, they truly believed it. The cold strength, the heartbeats, the fear, all melted into warmth of their shared life. Months later, their home was alive with laughter and light. Jungkook had softened completely, learning every day what it meant to love, to protect you, and to be present. Taehyung, resilient and tender, grew stronger with every smile of their child. They held hands, lived together, loved together, and every night when the baby slept between them, Jungkook whispered in Taehyung's ear, "I will never leave you. I will never leave us." Taehyung smiled softly, resting his hands against Jungkook's chest. "I will always love you, through everything, forever." And in the small, warm home they had finally found what they had both searching for: trust, love, family made not just by fate, but by courage, forgiveness, and heart brave enough to keep believing.